What is up, everybody? Les Paul Obsession here for the fifth and final garage showcase of my GTA 5 garages. This one is at my Eclipse apartments. And by the way, just a disclaimer, I say final, that is until if they ever release another garage or property expansion so that you can buy more property, then I'll do more. But until then, this is the last one. And this is at the Eclipse Suite 10-car garage. This is where all my cars that I don't really have a specific place for, specific category, so my miscellaneous garage. And we'll start here with the Benefactor Shafter V12. This is a really nice car. It sounds so good. I ended up buying this for the VIP missions. I wanted to get one designated car that I could use for VIP missions, and so I bought the armored variant of this. And when I found out that you could customize the interior, I went and made it flat black and then put a red interior on the inside, just because I think the red interior looks good. And obviously, being a V12, it sounds freaking awesome. I can't remember if they made the engine at all resemblant of being a V12. Nope, just looks like a piece of art that's been put over. But it is a V12. It sounds good. It's got that really low kinda, you can barely hear it, but it's there, sound effect. But I really like the red interior on there. I think it looks really good with the dashboard and the black on the outside. And it actually can withstand one impact from, I know, a homing launcher, a grenade launcher, and I think a sticky bomb, as long as you hit it on the sides here where these armor plates are. I don't know if it'll survive a head-on collision at the front, but I know it will survive one on the side, which gives it kind of an advantage on the Kuruma. The next car we have here is the, as soon as the game will load up here, the Futo, or not the Futo, the Corinne Sultan. I have an off-on relationship with this car. I'll own it for a while, then I'll get rid of it, then I'll own it, and I'll get rid of it. Typically, I'll get rid of it around a DLC time, and then I'll end up finding one and going, man, I'd like to have that again, and I'll sell a car that I don't ever drive or don't need. Not sure how long I'll keep the Sultan, because like I said, this being the miscellaneous garage, these are the cars that tend to kind of change a lot. This garage is very inconsistent, but this has been 100 different colors, from silver to blue to red to black, and I think I've finally decided that I like this color the most. I don't know why, it just kind of looks like really streetcar like when I see this, I think of a streetcar in like a Fast and the Furious movie or somewhere where you'd see a lot of street racing. Whoops. And so that is why I did that, and it's, I think, gold with a flat black secondary and then black Endo V2 wheels. But you know, you've got the turbocharger on the front. I don't know, it's a good looking car. It's not that I dislike it when I get rid of it, it's just I don't have this super big attachment to some of the more modern cars in this game. And so I'll get rid of them to get cars that I really want. I'd venture to guess that if this speculated Lowriders Part 2 episode or DLC ever comes out again, I'm recording this on Tuesday, January 19th, the same date that I recorded the last two. Then, you know, I might have to make some room. So, next car in here is going to be, sorry, I had a text message I had to check, the Elegy RH8. Pretty much based off of a Nissan GTR. With the exception of the back taillight thing here. Not sure that that's supposed to resemble the GTR, but This car was free through Social Club. Don't ask me how I got it. I know you were supposed to get it somehow if you did X thing, but that's how I ended up getting it. And like, it shows up as free on social or on Legendary Autosports for me. So like, if we'll just for shits and giggles, I'll go. When I scroll down to the Eleggy RH8, yeah, it says free. So something like a Social Club. If you're registered with Social Club or something, I can't tell you for sure how it works. I just know that that's how it works. So yeah, designed after the GTR, and another car that I went for a street racing kind of vibe on, with the underglow and the two-tone paint scheme and real low street car body kit sort of thing. Definitely like this car, even though I'm not big on the JDM cars. I do think this is a good looking car, especially in black and yellow. It may one day see a color scheme change, I don't know. Black and yellow is kind of growing old on me. Might have to go to something less cliche, I guess. But definitely a good looking car regardless. I do like this color scheme a lot. So yeah, that is the Eleggy RH8, and I've owned that for quite a while too, so it's been in there for a while. Partially because since it's a free car, I don't think I can sell it. I could just switch it though. If I buy a car, I can replace it, but no profit to be made there. Next is the Futo, the Karin Futo. I've been told that this is the best drift car in the game, and I don't know that because I can't drift, but I figure if I ever want to learn how to drift, I should use the best car in the game to do so. So I wouldn't have normally picked one of these up, but there was just one day I was driving around Los Santos, and I saw 500,000 Futos, and I mean, I'm talking like everywhere I turned it was lines of Futo in the traffic. And I decided then that that was the gods of GTA trying to send me a message to pick one of those up before I lost the chance. So I did, and I took it and I customized it, and it's now in my garage as a potential drift car because I suck at drifting. So I've never owned one before. This is the only one I own. I, believe it or not, know people that probably... I know one person for a fact that owns 4 of them, and it's really excessive. I would never own that many, but it is a good-looking car. I'd never passed up on it just because I didn't like it. I just never really had a need for it, but it's in silver with a blue secondary, and then it's got the bronze or gold-colored Fujiwara wheels, sort of resemblant of a Subaru, but not really. And one thing I really do like about this car is the door panels. They say Futo GT all around the door panel. I do think that's kind of interesting. It's the only car that I've ever seen with something that unique on the interior. Most of them are pretty generic interiors, but not this car. It does have that unique Futo GT door panel. Next car on the list is the armored Karin. Not really much to talk about on that car, but I'll take it out anyways and show you. This is the armored variant of the Karin that you saw in, or the Kuruma in the last showcase video. Like I said, everything that's gray on this car used to be yellow, so that it looked very similar to the other car, and I just decided that was too dumb and I didn't really need to have them that way, so I made it gray because it looks more armored. But it is a really decent car, especially if you're doing heists a lot, if you're grinding heists to buy like the super yacht or something, and you need a car that's going to protect you pretty well. This thing is damn near bulletproof. Like, I don't think when you're in this car, it takes a long time to end up taking any sort of damage inside. when friends and I go around and try to, like we'll do on like these little crime things where we'll go and take money from shops and gas stations and stuff, and we're robbing stores. This is the car we go to. It's either this or the FIB Riot van, but it's usually this because this is quick, near bulletproof, and I can put bulletproof tires on it, which is the one big flaw to the Riot van, is that you can't, the tires aren't bulletproof. But this is, it's just, you can shoot out the windows, but you can't, like, when I shoot out the window, it doesn't put holes in the window. Like a normal car, when you're aiming through the window and you pull the trigger, it breaks the glass. On this, it doesn't do that, which I think is probably a bug, but it's a bug that I don't mind having. So that is the armored Kirin Kuruma. That's a little bit of a mouthful with the K sound, but whatever. The next one is the Obey 9F, I believe. Yeah. Haven't owned this car a very long time, and I didn't really have a reason to get this car. I'd wanted it for a while, but really never saw the point in getting it, and then I ended up getting a heck of a deal on some shark cards, so I bought a cheap shark card, and I ended up buying this with it. And whoops, the color scheme, because it's really subtle, there's really not a big surface area for the secondary color. Is that orange right there is the secondary color. I kind of took the colors from that of a Ford GT, one of the old Ford GTs, and I really like how it ended up playing out on this car. I didn't think I was going to like it very much, but I ended up liking it a lot. And so this is the Obey 9F, obviously based off of the Audi, but it's just a really good looking car. And like I said, I've wanted one for a while, but I didn't really have a reason to justify buying one, because I didn't really, it's not like I disliked the body style, but there were so many other cars I'd rather had. And then finally I had most of the cars that I wanted, and I had an empty space in my garage and money to spend, so I'm like, well, time to go get the Obey 9F, and I did. And I got the hardtop version. I didn't get the convertible because I didn't really want the black secondary or the black roof, and I think that orange looks really good right there, and that's something I'm not entirely sure is on the convertible. So the Obey 9F, great car. It's like $90,000, pretty cheap if you ask me for what you get. It's a great car in terms of performance too. Next up, yes, the one bad egg, the grand disappointment. That is the Coil Brawler. The interesting thing about this car is it looks cool, sounds cool, is fun to drive around, and it looks and is advertised to be an off-road vehicle. But it is quite possibly one of the worst off-road vehicles in the history of off-road vehicles. I mean, even when you look at the little menu, it says off-road Coil Brawler, but it's not an off-road vehicle. And the reason is because Rockstar didn't know how to implement a real off-road into GTA, and this thing works absolutely terribly. It's rear-wheel drive, which is a huge problem alone, and it has got way too much torque that when you're trying to go up a steep hill, even if you've got a controller and you're just inching it, and you're putting the smallest amount of tension on your triggers, it's still, the tires will just spin. And so it is no longer an off-road vehicle for me. It is strictly a like beach dash. Like if I'm going around trails and stuff, I can't say it's not an off-road vehicle, but it's not my go-to off-road vehicle anymore. But it's black, or not black, it's yellow with the flat black secondary to kind of give it that sort of rugged finish to it, and then I've got the the spotlights underneath, the white neon underglow, so that it's kind of like the rock crawling lights on rock crawlers and stuff. But it is a terrible off-roader. If you're buying the Brawler, make sure you're buying it because you think it looks cool and you'd like to have it, because it is absolutely terrible at off-road. Unless it's if it's not going up a steeper hill, it's great, it's fast, it's maneuverable, and it'll take a hell of a beating. But if you're going up hills or rock crawling, it is one of the worst vehicles you could possibly own to do that. I use it for a lot of just off-road races that aren't going off, up hills or, crawling rocks or mountains or something. And here is the eyesore of the garage. This is the Declasse Moonbeam Custom. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, why the hell would you have that? And the reason is, I was at a car show a while back when lowriders first came out. And, everybody's bringing in the Primos and the Voodoos and the Chinos and stuff, and then one guy rolls up in this, except it wasn't this decal, this livery pattern, and it was blue and green. And I swear, you want to talk about the most atrocious thing you've ever seen, it was that van is the definition. And I looked at it and I'm like, man, that looks so awful and so hideous that I have to have something like it. And so that night I went and got the Moonbeam Custom, and it's purple. It's like a shafter purple with a midnight purple secondary, and then the blue livery pinstriping pattern with blue neon and big purple spokes on the wheels, and then big white wall tires. No, I'm not trying to go for attractive on this car. I went wholeheartedly for the hideous appearance, but I just love the inside of this thing. So many speakers, so much money invested in this one little van. I think I might have said Jeep a few minutes ago, and I don't know why. I wasn't even thinking about Jeep. But yeah, this is the Moonbeam Custom. We call it the mobile boombox because I have music turned off at the moment. But if you were at a car show and you wanted everybody to be able to hear a certain channel, you'd take a vote and say, hey, what channel do people want to hear? And Los Santos Rock Radio. You turn this thing to Los Santos Rock Radio and you open the trunk, and you can hear everything. It's whoops. It's a mobile stereo system, so yeah, not going for the show-worthy vehicle there. It was supposed to look like some sort of Frankenstein monster. Next up is the Sand King XL, second to last vehicle here. This is now my dedicated off-roader, not the coil brawler, and the reason is, this thing actually does have real four-wheel drive, and until I can get the Dubsta 6x6, this is just going to have to do. But, this is dedicated four-wheel drive. It looks like the big Fords. It just looks good. It looks... I don't know why I like this truck, but I do. It's a good-looking truck, though. I've got it in frost white with a secondary matte black finish. Again, to go kind of after the rugged look, but the wheels, I couldn't tell you what type of wheels they are, but they are chrome. One of the few vehicles that I'll do chrome on in terms of off-road. I just think the off-road, or the chrome looks really good on this truck, with the chrome roll bar in the back and then the chrome brush guard up front. I thought it looked really, really clean. So the brush guard especially, I think this looks really good on this truck. I was going to do them in black and then I thought no, and then I was going to do the secondary color in chrome, and that was way too much chrome, trust me, so I stuck with black on the secondary. But yeah, four-wheel drive, this thing will climb almost anything really well. It's got a really giving suspension, rock crawling, you name it, hill climbing, rock crawling, steep hill drives, like straight up Mount Chiliad, that thing will do it. Not as good as a 6x6, but it's definitely competitive for sure. So yeah, the last car is also a Vapid, and it is a Vapid Dominator. And this is the car that I wasn't sure if I bought or I acquired before or after the Tampa. I think it was before, but again, I'm not 100% positive. I really didn't think I was going to get this car until I was watching a video on YouTube of somebody customizing a car with a similar color scheme on top, like the similar pattern, decal pattern, but I can't tell you the name of the car, so I mean, I couldn't tell you what car it was for sure, but he had it set to silver was the primary, and then he's just kind of scrolling through the secondary colors, and he passed up this orange, and I ended up going back and watching it and pausing it and thought, man, that would look really good on a Dominator. And so I went and I found this Dominator, and it's not like I was desperate to find the Dominator and get it so that I could do that. I told myself that I'm not going to buy one, I'm just going to wait until one pops up on the streets, and finally one did. And I took it and I made it silver with this orange secondary color and kind of like the Mustang like torque thrust wheel sort of thing that you see on some of the more modern Mustangs. I threw that on there and made it black, and I think that really made this car look just really good. It kind of resembles somebody who took a stock Dominator like off the factory line, and then they threw like the rear window louvers, they repainted it and they put new wheels on it. It still kind of has that stock appearance, but with a hint of custom and, you know, personal touch, which is what I really like about it. Definitely a good looking car. I'm glad I ended up picking it up. I had one a long time ago and I ended up selling it for something else. I can't remember what I ended up getting with it, but yeah, definitely a cool looking car. I like the color scheme on it a lot. And I think that concludes the GTA 5 garage showcases. Again, I mentioned it in the last two. If you do like cars in GTA and you really like showing off your cars and your creations, and you've got something you'd really like to show off, please join the Car Meets crew that is down in the description below. I'm trying to build up a following for Car Meets, and it's mainly in PC, but I'm not going to turn anybody away who applies. I'm going to accept all applications right now until the group goes public, and then you won't even have to apply at all. And once it goes public, we're going to start trying to host once a week, and that way everybody will be able to try and show up for one of these car meets. It's a lot of fun showing off your cars and seeing everybody else's creations and something you may not have ever thought of. It's just a lot of fun seeing all these different cars, different ways of doing cars, you know. Definitely should try it out. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like rating down below, and if you've got any questions or comments about these cars that I've shown in this video or any of the cars you've seen in my GTA 5 Garage Showcase series, please don't hesitate to type your questions in the comments section down below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more gaming content similar to this, and take care everybody. I'll see you all in the next video.